Hey, it's Clay. Welcome to another League of Legends video. This time I'm doing a why buy on Teemo, the Swift Scout, aka the champion that everyone hates. But just kidding. Actually, in all seriousness, seriously, he's a stupid champion. We should delete him from the game. No, I'm just joking. No, but seriously, I hate him. No, I'm just kidding. You guys just know I love Teemo. No, wait. No, seriously though, I hate Teemo. Okay, but really, I'm gonna do this why buy, but I can't actually recommend that you buy him because I hate Teemo. I hate him. But anyways, for those of you who are interested in him, I will do this any which way. Teemo, he's quite the adorable little rodent until you go up and lane against him, at which point you will want to gouge out your eyes and you just start hating life because he's obnoxious. Teemo is like, just the design of his kit, I think the designer sat down and thought, how can we make the most annoying champion to play against? And they designed Teemo. Teemo is exactly that. He is obnoxious and very, very annoying. Singed going super ham, but not really going to do too much work on me there. But anyways, he's the Swift Scout, and actually I will play Teemo from time to time. Teemo, one of the things he has going for him is he is an extremely hard counter to certain top lane champions with his ranged harass and his continuous poke. He's very much reliant on an on-hit type build, which is probably one of his best, but he is very versatile in how he can be built, potentially. And this game actually, I think, very much exemplifies what a lot of Teemo games go like if they go well, where basically you just totally destroy your lane, and then everybody just starts raging and flaming and on their team, and then they just disintegrate, and you win the game very easily because you just won lane so hard. Teemo is an absolute lane bully to the highest order, especially against someone like Singed, Garen, Darius, Udyr, all of these champions who are melee and have no built-in gap close. These are dream come true type champions for Teemo. I wouldn't say he's ideal though for all matchups. He definitely struggles against assassins. I know that if I was going up against an Akali or a Zed, I would be very, very afraid to pick Teemo. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into his abilities. As you see, I'm just putting the hurt onto this Singed, who has absolutely no hope. I am taking way too many turret shots, unfortunately. But anyways, let's get into his abilities. So his passive Camouflage. If he stands still for 2 seconds, he becomes Stealth. And then when he leaves Stealth, he gains attack speed for 3 seconds. I actually think that this passive is pretty below average in the world of passives. I wonder if I maybe could have like Flash Ignite Auto. I probably could have gotten that kill. But here comes Volibear, and I'm going to have to flash away and just die. So, whoops. But anyways, that's his passive is Camouflage. I would say that it's mostly useful earlier on in the game. Just because like there aren't really a lot of situations where it's very convenient to stand still for 2 seconds and try to stealth. So you can do some crazy little shenanigans where you kind of hide in the middle of the lane and wait for your opponent to kind of walk up. And the attack speed is okay, but it's not very on demand. It's hard. Like an attack speed started like this would be really, really nice with this kit because he very much relies on his auto attacks for damage, but it's very unreliable. You can't get this very consistently. Compared to like somebody like Tristana who just hits Q and then she gets a ton of attack speed that way. So I guess that's just kind of how I'd look at it right there. So overall, it's kind of an okay passive, but it's really not my favorite part about his kit. Next up will be his Q, Blinding Dart. This is a targeted skill shot. I just threw it out there against Singed. And it will deal magic damage to your opponent and blind them. So this actually makes him really strong against like very strong auto attack based champions like Tryndamere, Aatrox, Master Yi. Because a blind is very, very powerful. It basically nullifies all of their damage. For some reason, this poor Singed decided that it was time to come in on me. I don't know if he saw Warwick coming. No, it looks like he didn't. So he just kind of derped right there. I think he thought he could get away, when in reality he could not. So now the lane score is 33-9, and Singed is in a world of hurt. But Blinding Dart is really useful. I tend to max this ability second. Scales fairly heavily with ability power with an 80% AP ratio with a 260 base damage at max rank. And the blind also scales with rank from 1.5 up to 2.5 seconds. So very, very nice stuff right there. Just a good ability for his top lane dueling, which is you're going to be doing a lot of. It can really, you can really save your life. Like if you're getting into a duel and your blind comes up, you know, a lot of those last auto attacks from your opponent are usually what spells the difference between life and death. And if you can kind of get that blind off, get 2.5 seconds of blind, it's really aggravating to go up against. So, again, one of the things that makes him very obnoxious, but also very strong. Next up would be his W, Move Quick. This is what allows him to be a top laner. Passively, it gives him move speed, unless he's been damaged by an enemy champion or turret in the last 5 seconds. So if you're just kind of running around the map, you gain passive attack speed, kind of similar to like Misfortune's passive. And then the active component, he will, for 3 seconds, gain double that normal bonus, which is not lost when he takes damage. So this is what allows him to be effective in the top lane. It allows him to evade ganks. It allows him to split push and stay safe. Basically, if somebody runs at you, you just hit your W and run away, and you're fine. So pretty straightforward ability right there. Next up will be his E, Toxic Shot, and it looks like Singed wants to do work on me, but unfortunately, my friend, you're going to be in trouble. He's getting very low, and my poison draws turret aggro, but that's okay. Oh, he actually healed through it with potions. Oh my goodness, he must have been so low. Oh my gosh, that's very disappointing. I thought I got that kill. I'm getting pinged right now, and I don't really know why. But anyways, his Toxic Shot E, this only has a passive component. Your auto attacks deal bonus magic damage on hit, as well as bonus magic damage per second for 4 seconds. So it applies this poison debuff to your target, and then we'll get that on-hit magic damage as well as magic damage over time. And so now there's, I believe, that the magic damage over time, if I'm not mistaken, this is my understanding, that the magic damage over time element, which is kind of a majority of the base damage, will only be applied once with your first auto attack, and then the duration, the 4 seconds, would just restart every time you auto attack again. But the on-hit damage will actually apply on every auto attack. So at max rank, you get 50 damage on hit with a 30% AP ratio, and then the damage over time at max rank is 120 with a 40% AP ratio. So every auto attack, you're getting that 50 plus 30% AP every auto attack, but then only one time for 4 seconds are you going to actually get that the damage over time. So Warwick comes in with a nice gank, and we're able to pick him off. But his E is his main damaging ability. I maxed this first because pretty much all of Teemo's damage comes from his auto attacks. You want to get this Toxic Shot applied early and often, and it's actually very strong. I believe that the on-hit damage is slightly weaker than Kale, who is the other champion who typically builds on-hit. Kale's Righteous Fury, I believe, is the skill I'm comparing to. I believe that has a flat 40% AP ratio, but that trades AoE for a damage over time, which actually has quite a bit of damage, up to 40% AP with a 120 base damage. So Teemo does more damage over like kind of a shorter duration, or I guess like the longer that you can apply that damage over time with the better. So yeah, this was what really kind of allows Teemo to be a bully. And in terms of itemization, you really want to maximize this ability with your itemization, looking at items like Gnasher's Tooth, maybe even, you could get maybe another attack speed item. Berserker's Greaves would be nice. I've even seen some people run, what am I thinking of? The Runan's Hurricane. Actually, it's a pretty bad item overall, but on Teemo, it actually kind of makes some sense because you can apply the on-hit and the damage over time to multiple targets. It allows him to farm very efficiently, and it allows his team fighting to kind of become AoE, which is quite nice. And then other items like specifically a Landry's Torment works really well on Teemo because you can apply that burn effect on all of your damage is pretty much damage over time. So you're getting that percentage HP tick going just almost constantly. So that's pretty much your core damage is Toxic Shot plus Gnasher's Tooth, and then your auto attacks are just hitting like a truck. And then last up will be his ultimate Noxus Trap. These are Teemo's infamous mushrooms. I just placed one right there. You place one on the ground, and then they stealth. If an enemy steps on it, they will be poisoned, they will have their movement speed reduced, and they are dealt magic damage over 4 seconds. This works on a charge-based system, so you don't just... It has a cooldown, but it also works on charges. So that means that you store charges over time, and then you gotta keep them in your inventory. It's very similar to Corky's Rockets, where... so right now I have one in my inventory. I can place it down if I want, or I can just sit on it for... it will sit there until I get a cap of 3, and then the cooldown will not continue to stack anymore. So these mushrooms are really useful. They give Teemo a ton of map control They give him a ton of escape potential. If you're getting ganked post 6, you can kind of lead your opponents through your trail of mushrooms. If you look, I've tried to place them in all of the gank paths, here in the river, here in the tri-brush, in this area, in this bush, and down in these bushes as well. So I'm trying to cover all of this top lane with my mushrooms pretty much. So if anybody comes to gank me, I will have vision of them, because it does actually reveal them. I don't know if I said that. It will also reveal them, as well as doing the damage and the slow. So very useful for the utility, for the map control. It provides Teemo's team with a lot of passive map control without even buying wards. You know, and certain Teemos will just spend the entire mid game focusing on pushing out a lane and then going and planting mushrooms. They'll buy a lot of cooldown reduction and mana regen, and try to, you know, something like a Morellonomicon with your Nashor's Tooth will give you a lot of nice CDR and mana regen to help spam those mushrooms as much as you possibly can. And overall, it's just is very core to his kit, but it's another thing that makes him extremely aggravating. So overall, yeah, this game is totally a snowball. Just take a look at the score. I am up 123 to 43 CS. Singed is 0-5. I am 2-1. I mean, he basically hasn't come up here because he knows there's nothing he can do against me. Teemo is just so strong against someone like Singed, who can never get in range. But basically, Teemo's playstyle is that he wants to be a lane bully. You want to be using your auto attacks to poke down usually you're going to want to try to go up against some sort of melee bruiser. Preferably one that doesn't have a gap closer, like I said before, but even with one, you can still manage it. But you're going to use your blind and the passive from your E, Toxic Shot, for the majority of your damage. Whenever they get on top of you specifically is the ideal time to use your blind, and then just try to auto attack them as much as you can with your E, and you'll just try to wear them down with your poke, with your ranged harass. And then you're going to save your W for your escape when you get ganked or get aggressed upon. And then once you hit level 6, you really want to try to use your mushrooms to try to gain map control, to warn you for oncoming ganks, to give you a proper escape route. There's just a lot of different uses for your mushrooms in general. But yeah, you basically, with Teemo, you want to try and snowball the game just like this. Teemo is not a very strong team fighter. He only has 500 auto attack range, and he just doesn't work very well in team fights. He's generally very squishy, and your mushrooms aren't that useful in team fights either. So you want to try and focus on snowballing your lane, keeping your lane opponent extremely underfarmed, and then just Teemo is a very effective split pusher because of his Teemos, because of his mushrooms, not his Teemos, because of his mushrooms, and also because of his W. He can get away very quickly. He has good map control. And you just kind of want to take over top lane in that way and just be extremely obnoxious. Teemo is hands down one of the most annoying champions to play against in the game, and this game really exemplifies it. It definitely helped as well that Tristana got super fed, but in terms of my top lane matchup, I dominated this guy. I mean, he just had nothing going for him. He's gonna get wrecked right here, and this game is pretty much over. And so, but that's Teemo. He is obnoxious, he is annoying, but he's very effective against certain matchups. Like I said, specifically those melee bruisers, Teemo's very strong. You can also play him in the mid lane. I don't think he's as effective there, though, because his range is really going to come into be an issue. But in the top lane, he can really be a terror. So, I hate to say this, but maybe you should consider going and buying Teemo. Just don't play him against me, because he is so annoying to play against. His playstyle is all about being obnoxious. But hey, I know some people really enjoy that, and I know, like, specifically Freak, he loves Teemo. So anyways, I think I want to cover items a little bit. Nashor's Tooth, Haunting Guys, into Leandries. Those are your core items really right there. After that, you can just go Death Cap, you go Zhonya's, Void Staff, Sork Shoes, big time AP. You can also go for like an 80 Bruiser build. I've seen that. There are a lot of different ways you can build Teemo, really. But I tend to do the on-hit AP attack speed thing because it works really well with his E. So anyways, that's Teemo in a nutshell. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down in the comment section below about how much you hate Teemo. Excuse me, just like I do, because he's a pesky little rodent Yordle that gives Yordles a bad name. But anyways, all jokes aside, he is a cute, cuddly champion that can really wreck top lane. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you again soon. Bye.